Public outrage over net neutrality proposal causes FCC site to crash. Open internet advocates were not surprised that the FCC's controversial proposal, which would allow internet service providers to create so-called fast lanes for companies who can afford the extra fees, garnered so much feedback. The grassroots organizations believe the unprecedented public response, more than 780,000 comments filed as of Tuesday afternoon, bolstered their cause. And it says privacy advocates such as the ACLU, also Reddit, Mozilla, internet companies of various origins, hand-delivered over 1,000 comments to the FCC headquarters. So they said, hey, you know, your site crashed because people are so concerned about their internet freedom. We will do the old-fashioned thing, and you kids out there have probably never even done this. You know, back when I was in school, they made you write a letter to your grandma or somebody like that. But people got the old-fashioned pen and pad, and they wrote a letter to the FCC saying, hey, we want our internet freedom. We don't want this thing to be controlled. We don't want people to have monopoly over the internet, which is very, very relevant, because when you let these big companies, let's say your big Fortune 500 companies get a monopoly on the internet, they can squeeze out the little guys. And if you're like me, you're a little guy too, so you definitely don't want this coming to your town. And something else that you don't want on the internet, trolls. The worst trolls on the internet are government trolls, and Michael Snyder has never lied about that. According to newly revealed documents, British spy agency GCHQ is manipulating online discussions, infiltrating the computers of specific targets, purposely destroying reputations, altering the results of online polls, and using Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube for propaganda and espionage purposes. And it was, I guess, last year or the year before, InfoWars brought you the reports of how there are actually paid government trolls on there. Just, you know, anything that you do, they have to say something negative about it. So, you know, it is real, it is happening. It's somebody's job to sit there as a, you know, a government representative and just, you know, type negative comments on your YouTube page or on your Facebook page if you're political in any fashion. So be aware of it. Trolls do exist. They're not just in Hobbit movies. And we'll end our segment tonight with this. Over 600,000 vets wait a month or more for doctor appointments. 40,000 have been waiting for 4 months to see a doctor, the chairman of the Senate committee announced Wednesday. Acting VA Secretary Sloan Gibson told Congress on Wednesday he needs $17.6 billion to fix the current treatment delay crisis at the agency. So meanwhile, we have President Obama saying that he wants over $3 billion to give to the illegal immigrants, while we have a VA crisis right here. Because you notice we have money to go out there and fight these people. We have money for the guns and the big armored tanks and the vehicles and all these things, the body armor. But when these guys come back home and they got the aches, they got the pains, they got the PTSD, then we don't have money to give to them, or we don't have the time to give to them. Like Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs had to wait 2 or 3 months to go into the VA for internal bleeding. You know, like Pac said, we got money for wars, but we can't feed the poor. And it's not even feeding the poor, it's going out there and feeding the people who fought for our country, regardless if you agree with everything they do as far as the military. I definitely don't. You know, I'm not a fan of them growing the opium in Afghanistan, but regardless, you know, these people fought for our country and they need to have their rights when they come back home.
This is Alex Jones for InfoWarsLife.com. The latest in preparedness is now here. An electrically stabilized colloidal silver solution that can be added to both your home cabinet and preparedness pack alike. Concentrated to 30 parts per million in what has been dubbed the survival silver solution. And it's entirely free of toxic artificial additives that are loaded into many products. Purchase your bottle of InfoWarsLife.com Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver today and find other amazing supplements at InfoWarsLife.com.